Straight ahead on the Daily O, breaking news in Cowboy football. One player has announced he will forgo this upcoming season. We'll tell you all you need to know. One Cowgirl basketball player is now on the award watch list as the season inches closer. Also, the Oklahoma City Thunder started their season last night. Find out how they fared, all of that and more coming up. The Daily O starts right now. Good evening and welcome back to the Daily O. I'm Emma Lightfoot. Thank you for joining us this Thursday. In local breaking news, Cowboy football will now be down one player for the rest of the year. Oklahoma State defensive end Brendan Evers shocked fans this afternoon by announcing that he will forego the rest of his senior season and prepare for the NFL draft. Evers posted a message to Cowboy Nation on Twitter, thanking his coaching staff, teammates, fans, and friends and family for supporting him over the years. He has been a part of the Cowboy defense since 2018 and chose to return this season, saying he had some unfinished business in Stillwater. Evers has dealt with some injuries this season and throughout his time at OSU, but has made an impact despite them. Even though today's announcement comes as a surprise to Cowboy fans, supporters have been vocal in their encouragement toward Evers. His presence on the defensive line will be missed, but the community wishes him the best in his goal of making it to the NFL. In other news, Cowgirl soccer is staying in town today. They host the West Virginia Mountaineers tonight at 7 in Neil Patterson Stadium. OSU is 10-2-3 overall this season, and coming off of a 1-0 win versus Iowa State on Sunday. That one goal was a penalty kick scored by Cowgirl standout Grace Yoakum in the 82nd minute of the game. She now leads the Cowgirls in goals on the season with 8 and will be a player to watch once more tonight. The West Virginia team has a record of 5-4-6, but they are coming off of a strong 3-1 victory over Baylor on Sunday. If you can manage to get away from homecoming preparation for a couple of hours, tonight would be a great night to show out, enjoy some soccer, and support the Cowgirls. One Cowgirl basketball player has been named to the watch list for the 2023 Cheryl Miller Award, Leora Garson. Garson is new to OSU. She is from Ra'anana, Israel, and comes to Stillwater by way of transfer from Villanova. Named after three-time Naismith Player of the Year and class of 1995 Hall of Famer, the Cheryl Miller Award is given annually to the top small forwards in women's NCAA Division I college basketball. Garson is an exciting addition for the Cowgirls. She scored 13 points per game last season, was named the Big East Co-Most Improved Player, and was a second-team All-League selection as well. She is one of 20 candidates for the award and will look to start contributing for the Cowgirls when their season begins with an exhibition game on November 1st. Now, heading back over to Cowboy football, one player is continuing to make the most of his 5th year wearing the orange and black. Our own Peyton Schmidt has more.
After waiting 4 years for his time while sitting behind players such as Trey Sterling, Cowboy safety Sean Michael Flanagan finally gets his chance in the spotlight after deciding to not enter the transfer portal come his 5th season with the team.
I feel like I owe it to the people that, got me here and the university. They gave me the shot, so why not stick it out,
He's played in 36 games with special teams and occasionally a rotation in with the defense. But this year, being on the field feels a bit different.
I've been out there before and on certain packages, so I know what it feels like, but it definitely felt special, first start. But
Pleased with his progress on the field, head coach Mike Gundy speaks highly in terms of Flanagan's performance so far.
His commitment to this organization's been awesome. His willingness to compete, to practice and play in games when he's beat up has been excellent. And he's one of those guys that is going to get better every game because, he hadn't played much really prior to this year other than special teams.
This Saturday, Flanagan and the Cowboys look to bounce back after a heartbreaking loss to TCU in double overtime.
it'll be a big game. A lot of adrenaline, a lot of nerves, I'm sure, but it'll be great.
It's homecoming weekend here at Oklahoma State, so wear America's brightest orange and come cheer on the Cowboys. The game is set for 2:30 p.m. October 22nd. Peyton Schmidt, Ocali TV.
Thanks, Peyton. Ocali TV will be your home for coverage of Flanagan and the rest of the Cowboy team as they prepare for homecoming this Saturday. Time for a quick break here on the Daily O. But when we return, the Thunder opened up their season in Minnesota against the Timberwolves last night. How did they fare? Also, one annual homecoming event kicked off here in Payne County. Find out more about that when the Daily O comes back.
We would design something, it was set on the counter, and people was either, if enough of them said, this isn't it never made to the line. Dad was excited that they're all original. They were all designed on Mom's kitchen table, and it gets in your blood after a while.
We're very happy that Pamela and Michael have taken over the business and kept the family going.
We took the business over in 2017. When we found that it was available, we wanted to keep the legacy of family alive, but it was also incredible products that deserved to be a part of Made in Oklahoma's story. We were a part of Made in Oklahoma years ago, and so it kind of grew as Made in Oklahoma grew.
Oklahoma is ingrained into everything that we did. We've been here most of our life. That's what we entailed our whole business on, was the Oklahoma homegrown feeling.
Pecans are staple to Oklahoma. In fact, many of our native pecans come from trees that are older than Oklahoma statehood.
My father's the one that got us started into the pecan picking. I was probably 10 or 12 years old, and we started off with one little mechanical picker that you pulled behind a four-wheeler. Then we'd go home at night and we'd clean them on a TV tray. I guess watching my dad work hard when we were young, and people started trusting him and getting more and more groves, we just kept growing.
Being a relatively new and fresh company, we get to sit in the same room with people who have been a part of the Oklahoma economy for decades.
It's opened a lot of doors. It's gave us quite a bit of exposure, and I think people, will take a small company like us a little more serious. We're just going to continue growing as long as our community lets us and our customers keep on buying, and we'll see where it takes us.
Well, how I got started was my daughter said, "Mama, why don't we rent a booth at the Quarter Horse Show?" And it was very, very good because, when you're giving your jelly away for free, people really do love it. But when you ask them to pay for it, then that's a true test. What makes my product so unique is the Scotch bonnet pepper. And the Scotch bonnet is the Jamaican pepper. And I had lived in Montego Bay, Jamaica for 4 years. So I learned how to handle the pepper and how to cook with it. I always say, you don't do this on your own. I mean, you have so many people that help you along the way. For me and for many of us, that's my name on that jar, and it better be good.
Welcome back to the Daily O. Back here in Stillwater, homecoming week continues to ramp up. At the Payne County Expo Center, students and residents gathered up to celebrate one of homecoming week's biggest staples. Our own Jaron Davis has more.
America's greatest homecoming is underway here in Stillwater, and the energy is as high as ever. Many events and activities have taken place during this historic week, but the first of those being Harvest Carnival and the Chili Cook-Off. Harv Carve, as many students are calling it, is a 2-hour event with plenty of food, fun, and festive activities. Harness Carnival student executive Garrett Bicchetti has more.
Yes, so in the Heritage Hall we have the Chili Cook-Off, and in the Expo Hall we have the Harvest Carnival. The Harvest Carnival is the Greek houses, student orgs, and res halls. They put together games that they build themselves, and kids from the community come, and they come and play the games and get free candy.
Each group builds their own game, and then it has some sort of theme to go along with homecoming.
I am here with the Student Union Activities Board, and we are here to teach students about the facts about some of the heroes of Oklahoma State University. And some of the heroes that we have are Dr. Schramm, Warren the Cowboy, we have Pistol Pete, and we have Henry Bennett, just to mention a few.
Flipping it over to the food side of things, the Chili Cook-Off. This event was student organizations and residential halls only, and is quite simply how it sounds, a competition to see who can cook the best pot of chili. I had a chance to talk to one of the judges to get the scoop on what it takes to be a chili champion.
Well, we have a general structure that we're basing our decisions off of. One's going to be, of course, the overall taste and how well you enjoy the dish. Also, as well as the texture and the consistency of the ingredients you've added. And then another thing that we're also considering is, would your recipe appear to a larger customer base, almost kind of in a restaurant type of setting. So we're also assessing them on that as well.
Similar to the Harv Carve games, some dishes have themes to them that make their flavor unique. Entomology Club member Walker Jones spoke on how they utilized honey to spice up their batch.
The main caveat being spicy honey in it, which is with Entomology Club. So we thought that, honeys, bees, Entomology Club, it all fit in thematically. And so that's what we've done every year.
Make sure you turn into the Daily O for all things OSU. From Ocali TV, I'm Jaron Davis.
Thanks for that, Jaron. It's time to take a look at some national headlines, starting in the world of soccer. A group of prominent Iranian sports figures are calling on FIFA to ban the Iranian Football Federation from competing in the 2022 Qatar World Cup. A law firm has sent a letter to FIFA on behalf of the sports stars. A press release, issued alongside the letter, demands unequivocal disassociation of Iran's brutality from the sporting world. Protests in Iran continue following the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini for allegedly not wearing her hijab properly. The World Cup takes place in a month's time, starting November 20th. New England Patriots starting quarterback Mac Jones expects to return for the team's Week 7 game Monday night against the Chicago Bears. Jones has missed the past 3 games with a high ankle sprain he sustained September 25th against Baltimore. Per the report, Jones has told teammates that he has progressed. Despite rumors of a quarterback controversy, it was reported that Jones will return as a starter when he's healthy. The Jones and Bailey Zapp starting storyline comes in the aftermath of a separate report that tension is building between Jones and the Patriots. The second-year quarterback was 1-2 as the starter, throwing for 786 yards and 2 touchdowns against 5 interceptions, 3 of which took place in Week 3 against the Ravens. The Cowboy community joins the OSU track and field and cross-country team in mourning the loss of former Cowboy Ryan Wheeling. Wheeling was a middle-distance runner in his time at OSU and competed in 8 meets from 2017 to 2019. He was a graduate and valedictorian of Newtown High School in Newtown, North Dakota. There, he was a state champion in both cross-country and track, once in 2015 in cross-country and 7 times on the track. Wheeler was also named Senior Athlete of the Year in cross-country and track in 2017. The funeral service for Wheeler will be held at 11 a.m. on Monday, October 24th at the Northern Lights Wellness Center in Newtown, North Dakota. He was only 24 years old. Wheeling will be greatly missed and will always be remembered as a valuable member of the Cowboy family. It's time for another break here on the Daily O, but when we return, while the Thunder opened up their season last night, how did the rest of the league fare? Also, you won't want to miss what happened on this day in sports history. Don't go anywhere, and the Daily O will be right back.
Ace in the Bowl salsa started many, many years ago. I was trying to find a recipe to take to a family gathering, and so I started messing around with different recipes, and I took a little bit from here and a little bit from there, and I came up with a salsa that is truly unique. Ace in the Bowl salsa is an olive oil-based salsa with tomatoes, green chilies, green onions, and black olives. There's no sugar added, it's gluten-free, low-calorie, low-carb, low-fat, low sodium. So it's a very, very, very good alternative to any snack you may want. As of right now, I'm just looking to be in Oklahoma and having a successful business within the state. If my grandkids could ever take it over when they're old enough, that would be my dream.
Tucked away in the city of Ripley, Oklahoma, the award-winning Washington Irving Trail Museum showcases the heritage and history of Payne County. This museum holds antiques, treasures, and artifacts that one cannot find at any other museum. With hundreds of historical antiques that display OSU history, along with Native American history, the museum has it all. museum is well known for their book containing pictures and news articles about Frank Eaton, the original Pistol Pete. Dale Kluber opened Washington Irving Trail Museum in 1994 with its collection of historical mementos. This museum is filled from wall to wall with Oklahoman history. The Washington Irving Trail Museum is 15 minutes outside of Stillwater. Experience history at one of Oklahoma's hidden gems.
You may have been to casinos at some point in your life, but do you really know the truth behind the game you're playing?
And the casinos were very polemic or very controversial when they came out. But the truth was, that's all the federal government gave us.
Casino is owned by the Chickasaw Nation and has roughly 600,000 square feet of dedicated gambling space, making it the world's largest casino. It contributed massively to the Chickasaw Nation, posting a net revenue of $1.4 billion for the fiscal year of 2017.
Welcome back into the Daily O. Emma Lightfoot with you on this beautiful Thursday in Stillwater. The Oklahoma City Thunder played their first game of the new season last night, a 7-point loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's never fun to start the season with a loss, but the Thunder showed promise last night. They came back from a 16-point deficit to make it a close game down the stretch. The Thunder were led by star point guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who scored 32 points and also chipped in with 6 rebounds and 5 assists. Second-year guard Josh Giddey contributed a double-double with 14 points and 11 rebounds. Timberwolves 7-footer Rudy Gobert led the way with 23 points and 16 rebounds, helping his team to pull off the win in front of their home crowd. The Thunder won't have to wait long to seek revenge, though. They'll play the Timberwolves again on Sunday in their home opener at Paycom Arena. Yesterday was day 2 of the NBA season, and after a full slate of games, every team has now played their first of the year. Let's take a look at the scores, starting with some Eastern Conference matchups. The Pistons beat the Magic 113-109. The Wizards took down the Pacers 114-107. The Bulls defeated the Heat 116-108, and the Raptors beat the Cavaliers 108-105. Moving on to Western Conference matchups. The Trailblazers beat the Kings 115-108. The Suns defeated the Mavericks 107-105. The Jazz took down the Nuggets 123-102, and the Timberwolves beat the Thunder 115-108. Now taking a look at NBA games across the league and what happened when the two conferences played each other. The Pelicans secured a win over the Nets 130-108. The Grizzlies beat the Knicks 115-112. The Hornets outplayed the Spurs 129-102, and the Hawks beat the Rockets 117-107. There were 12 NBA games yesterday, but it was the last one of the night that was the most exciting. In their first matchup since the Western Conference playoff series went to 7 games, the Dallas Mavericks and Phoenix Suns found themselves in a tie game with less than 30 seconds to go. That's when Damian Lee comes in. Lee is in his first season with the Suns, but wasted no time making an impact. Lee had 11 points in the fourth quarter, including this bucket to go ahead with less than 10 seconds remaining. The Suns held on to win the game 107-105 after Luka Doncic missed a deep step-back 3 as time expired. We are just 1 month away until the start of the biggest soccer tournament in the world. The Qatar World Cup will run between November 20th and December 18th, congregating the best teams in the world. Fans will fly from all over to support their countries. It is the first time that this event is being held in the Middle East. Organizers say that almost 2.9 million tickets have been sold so far for the more than 60 matches. It's time for one last break here on the Daily O, but when we return, we'll go back in time to see what happened on this day in sports history, as well as one sport you probably have never heard of. The Daily O will be right back.
Hi everybody, my name is Emily Shooping. I'm your marketing coordinator for the Made in Oklahoma Coalition. I'm coming to you with an amazing opportunity. We are teaming up with the Ocali Media Group at Oklahoma State University. We want to tell your story on the following platforms: streaming, newspaper, and digital. This opportunity will not only allow your story to be told locally, but nationally as well. I am so excited for each of you to join in on this tremendous opportunity. This will not only be good for your business, but it will be good for our great state of Oklahoma. You can be expecting an email from me soon with more details about this opportunity. Local has a name, local has a face, local has a flavor. The Made in Oklahoma Coalition.
A Golf Digest 5-star course, best new public course won and opened in 1994, and a top 100 public golf course in America since 2003. This course, just 5 miles outside of Stillwater, Oklahoma on Highway 51, is named after one of the influential golf pioneers this game has known.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek. Karsten Creek's a modern golf course.
The beauty of the course is in large part to the elements of the grounds. The Georgia fairway is transformed from its original forested landscape. Georgia was used to combat the tough winters so golfers could play year-round. The greens are large and sloping bent grass hills. The low-cut bent grass can be similar to glass during peak championship conditions. The bunkers surrounding most holes remind golfers of a white beach rather than a deep hazard. Lake Louise, surrounded by the second 9, completes the perfect finishing hole. The long par 72 course perfectly combines nature with the difficulty of a championship course. Karsten's added challenge is the Oklahoma wind.
So there aren't any other schools in the country that have that same commitment to college golf as we do here at Oklahoma State.
But if you're going to play at the highest level, you've got to be able to focus on where you want to go, and Karsten Creek does a good job of training you to do that, because if you don't, you're going to have a long day. And that's a great legacy that Coach Holder left, because that's the way he coached.
Welcome back to the final portion of this Thursday edition of the Daily O. It's time to get into the time machine and go back to what happened on this day in sports history. Going all the way back to 1963, NFL legend Jim Brown sets a single-season rushing record at 1,863 yards. Brown ends his legacy in the league, placing within the top 15 in league history in rushing yards. Moving ahead one decade, former President Richard Nixon gives Jim Thorpe the honor of being named the greatest athlete in the first half of the 20th century. Thorpe was the first Native American to win an Olympic gold medal for the U.S. Thorpe also won the pentathlon and decathlon at the Stockholm 1912 Olympic Games. He later played pro baseball and football before retiring from professional sports. Skipping forward 2 more decades, history was made in the World Series. In 1993, the Toronto Blue Jays defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 15-14. That high-powered affair went down as the highest-scoring game in World Series history, as the Blue Jays would go on to take home the pennant. We've heard a lot about football, basketball, baseball, and soccer, but what about ostrich racing? That's right, it's time for our weird sport of the day. Ostrich racing is a sport dating back to the 1890s and is now common in South Africa along with various locations in the U.S. Although ostriches are known for their long necks and for laying the largest eggs of any bird, they should also be known for their speed. Ostriches can't fly, but the giant birds can run at speeds of over 40 miles per hour. This makes them some of the fastest land animals in the world. Ostrich racing is similar to horse racing, but one difference is that the ostrich riders often fall off of their bird to the ground during the race. In some races, the ostrich pulls a chariot that holds the rider. But either way, an ostrich race is sure to be one of the most thrilling sporting events you've never seen. Before we let you go, it's time to take one last look into your national headlines. A group of prominent Iranian sports figures are calling on FIFA to ban the Iranian Football Federation from competing in the 2022 Qatar World Cup. A law firm has sent a letter to FIFA on behalf of the sports stars. A press release issued alongside the letter demands unequivocal dissociation of Iran's brutality from the sporting world. Protests in Iran continue following the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini for allegedly not wearing her hijab properly. The World Cup takes place in a month's time, starting November 20th. New England Patriots starting quarterback Mac Jones expects to return for the team's Week 7 game Monday night against the Chicago Bears. Jones has missed the past 3 games with a high ankle sprain he sustained September 25th against Baltimore. Per the report, Jones has told teammates that he has progressed. Despite reports of a quarterback controversy, it was reported that Jones will return as the starter when he's healthy. The Jones-Bailey Zapp starting storyline comes in the aftermath of a separate report that tension is building between Jones and the Patriots. The second-year quarterback was 1-2 as the starter, throwing for 786 yards and 2 touchdowns against 5 interceptions, 3 of which took place in Week 3 against the Ravens. That will do it for this Thursday edition of the Daily O. Come back tomorrow when Brody Myers and Connor Bergen have you covered as you go into the weekend. For the Daily O, I'm Emma Lightfoot. Good night, everyone.
Hi, I'm Shauna here at Where the Buffalo Roam in beautiful downtown Pawnee, Oklahoma. We have a lot of beautiful and unique items for sale in the store, but our number one items are Navajo jewelry, Pendleton blankets, and Consuela. It's a great place to shop, a beautiful downtown, so come see us in Pawnee, Oklahoma.
My name is Kayla. I've been here since the beginning, so 4 years. Scratch is more focused on farm and mostly made in Oklahoma products, keeping it local. Sustainability is our biggest thing. That's one of the reasons why this place opened.
I've been the chef here at Scratch for 2.5 years. Started here as a line cook. Our food and drinks are a bit separate entities almost inside the restaurant. So the food is now up to 85% of the products we bring in are raised or grown locally. It's all based off of things that I grew up eating in southern Oklahoma, things my grandparents ate.
About fresh food, clean food, organic food, sustainability, that's all of our thing. From front of house to back of house, we're able to maintain both with freshness. But made in Oklahoma means we get it straight from the farms that are 20, 30 minutes, another little county away. We get it straight from them.
My name is James Ramidi. Fired Up Stilly is the name of the business, and I'm one of the owners. We all three met, the 3 owners, working as employees at a similar place like this. What I hope for is for everybody to feel welcome, like family. Not only do I want students to feel welcome to come here and study and use our free Wi-Fi, but also I want adults and families to be able to come in. We've built a connection with a lot of people, and Stillwater's a big community, so we just want to invite everybody to be able to eventually make their way through our doors. Well, definitely the teas, I would say. Most people fall in love with them. They just got a great amount of energy, gets you going through your day, and it just kickstarts you to get everything you need to done. For myself, it would just have to be, being the owner, owning something that, is able to impact other people's lives, and, the way we can affect our community is something that I really have always wanted to do. We love our clients and our customers that come through every day, and we enjoy getting to know them.